everyone, my name is Rishikesh Nare. We welcome you to our special series, The Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories, an initiative by ETH. Before we begin, let me set the context right. The key to cutting chai conversation is to have a good discussion around the areas of your early life, education, grooming, training, business, skill augmentation to work life balance. It's a series of candid conversations. We take you through we take you through the inspirational journeys of influential people. You all have seen these personalities in the corporate world, but we are taking them away from the boardroom drama for some time to have some candid conversation. So today we have with us Mr. Ashish Bajaj, Chief Technology Officer at DSP Mutual Fund. So Ashish, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. And I know it's very challenging considering that everybody's working from home and everybody is glued to their cameras, the team calls. It's very difficult to get the time from this busy calendar. So thank you so much, and please let us know.
Most welcome.
Yeah. So please, we can start the conversation. I think we want to know what is your early life like, and when I say early life, your childhood days maybe, because I read about you and I heard that you started your first job at the age of 14. So we would really love to know that what triggered you and what inspired you to start your career at so early age.
Uh, okay. So as a kid, okay, I was too shy. And as a personality, it was I had a very limited friends, too much of studies, uh, less of play. Though I used to, but compared to my friends around, and what led to starting the career so early? I was staying in a community, okay, which was all business community. So all businesses around, we had close to about 200 plus apartments in our complex. And I am pretty confident, okay, that out of 200, 199 would be all businessmen, okay, except us. So that led to, in terms of understanding that, okay, how specifically the elders around the residential complexes, okay, they started with just bringing in 5, 10, 20, 100, 200, 300 to give the all the filmy stories, okay, and then had good businesses around, ups and downs. So that inspired in terms of making sure that let us also try something. Fortunately, I had backing of my mom. She's always been entrepreneurial, and one very important aspect is the reason today I am into technology is because she started implementing technology in 1984. So with that kind of guidance, mentorship, and definitely blessings led me to start early. It's been a very roller coaster ride because things were not that open. Today we have Google. Okay, we're talking about those days. Okay, where even buying second-hand books, okay, by itself, okay, was a challenge for middle class or lower middle class. So uh, uh, there has been part of learning stuff during those days. Early, okay, you tend to be overly energetic, and that is what, okay, displays in your daily task, daily routine. I used to bunk my college because I was highly interested in doing some entrepreneurial stint around the diamond industry.
Okay.
And so I was a top ranker as far as blacklist is concerned. uh,
Okay.
Plus my name itself, okay, being role number one, fortunately, okay, gave me that position. Uh, so yeah, uh, it's a combination of all of this, okay, which actually pushed hard in terms of starting too early. And fortunately, okay, my principal and dean both were supportive, okay, even after I being on the top list of the blacklist, okay, understanding, okay, that what the kid would actually want to do. So parallelly, okay, in fact, I was also trying and studying, understanding a pharmacy. So
I mean,
it was
everything
a lot of exactly. It's like you come out of a college today, okay, and you want to start your business, but you don't know, okay, which business to start. So it's as simple as that.
so
But
you wanted to try
definitely not
every
not in,
every
not not
possible.
in the right good environment during those
Exactly. I
days.
mean, you wanted to try every possible career option that you would want to go ahead and build your career upon. But
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think your first job was into a diamond industry, and I don't know, this is what you've ever aspired for, but maybe that might have helped you when you got those skill sets inside, because I've read about diamond cutting and polishing. It's a very, very, very difficult job. You have to have a great eyesight. You have to have a great hand and eye coordination. So
Absolutely. So
how
I
did
think
that help you?
yeah. So today also, in fact, I think the precision learning is all coming in from there, and fortunately, that is the reason with close to about 200 platforms which I've worked until now, building it all across the globe. You name any large IB, I work with them, irrespective of the region. Okay. In fact, I've also delivered a project in Afghanistan. So.
Oh,
But a detailed eye, I think, is something which actually that first job of 18 months gave me a lot, and it continues today also. So in fact, today, even at this stage, okay, where I'm still a hands-on person, I still love to code. I don't do it quite often, but yes, once in 6 months I do, definitely, to make sure, okay, that if juniors are pushing me, okay, against their knowledge, I need to respond back hard. So that's the only
right.
reason. Okay, no other reason, and a bit of passion. Today also, to solve a problem, okay, it doesn't take more than a few seconds, and that's only because of the detailed eye. I don't see it's a skill set, because this is a ever changing landscape. Today we're talking on Zoom, tomorrow it could be something else. There's a possibility, okay, we may also travel via internet once 5G or 6G come into existence. So it's being a extremely fast changing environment. I think the only thing is consistency and precision, which has helped me reach at this scale, who can seriously help businesses to a large.
But have you ever imagined in your wildest thought, while you were working at the age of 14, have you ever imagined that one fine day I will be contributing my skills towards the globe? And you mentioned about 200 applications that you worked upon. I mean, I can't name 200 applications and you worked on it. Most of the people, they can't name 200 applications. I can bet on it right now, but you worked on it. So have you ever imagined that your journey could be like this, or you knew the fact that if I'm getting into this precision learning, I'm putting my 100% efforts, whatever I'm doing into, one fine day I will make it big?
Uh, I would lie if I say yes. Okay, the answer is no.
Let's hear.
Definitely not. But I think the only thing which I still remember. Okay, it's almost now 2+ decades being in the technology space. The only thing which I remember is, okay, I'm very greedy in terms of doing things new. Okay, I can't get into a maintenance mode.
Okay.
I knew I mean, like, every day morning, okay, I take so for me, okay, every day there's a daily challenge, and I solve that day, okay, and then move to the next day. My strategic, I would say, decisions, findings, initiatives, okay, are all towards, okay, how soon can I solve the problem, and now how best I can solve it. Because best over a time, okay, it will automatically happen. When WhatsApp was launched, it was not as good as today it is. Google or internet, when it was launched, it was not as good as it is today. So with that assumption, okay, and guidance coming in, okay, from a lot of stalwarts in the industry, it has always helped in terms of doing things fast. Like, for example, okay, if I would want to launch something, I can share one example. uh, this work from home was enabled across the industry. If you remember, this was enabled on 24th of March. I still remember that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Just for your info, uh, we got 100% of our workforce working from home on 16th of March.
Okay.
And it was so seamless that today also we are the only MF in the industry working 100% from home.
Oh, I mean, that's an achievement. And again,
And it,
precision
and it is
learning.
and it's seamless. Huh? I mean, I did not have any sleepless nights. Absolutely zero.
Oh, it's just the business as usual because you were prepared for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We started our preparation on 27th of Feb. We completed on 11th of March.
I mean, that's great. I mean, when someone looks at you, if I'm looking at you, I'm talking to you, I feel that very calm personality, and a person who's very sorted. He is not into something that would land up him into a trouble. But the kind of things that you have done, it makes you a clear risk taker. I mean, that's the clear thing that anybody can make out. And it's very difficult, and it's a lethal combination. Let me tell you, when you have a calm personality, the calm face, and you have the ability to taking risk in order to sustain into today's world. So is there any secret behind this? Is there a reason that you purposely use this aura? Similarly, like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you would never seen him getting excited, but here the storm is going around. He knows that what needs to be done on every single aspect, and that is something I can sense it from you. So, what
Uh,
is the secret formula behind this? It's very difficult to bind your emotions, stay calm, and do your logical work. So, please tell us about your secret recipe for this entire aura.
sure. So I think the only mantra is okay. I don't fear failures.
Uh,
uh, and I keep failing every day. I keep learning. Stand up, okay, do good things, don't repeat mistakes, do newer and newer mistakes. Uh, un- Unfortunately, okay, with ever changing technology, mistakes are bound to happen. Okay, you can't have anything working seamlessly. Okay, let's take a Mangalyaan case. Okay, we know that, okay, just 200 feet above the surface, okay, unfortunately we failed. So I think what's important is failures are going to happen. uh, how do we make sure, okay, that we keep learning fast and fail fast? I think that's the only uh, I would say, either you call it as a secret recipe, okay, or a mantra, okay, which I follow. If systems go down, okay, what is more important is how soon can we bring them up, okay, rather than pinpointing, blaming, yelling at the team, okay, and then unfortunately frustrating them, okay, at the wrong time. So I think that has always helped in terms of getting support from close to about 1,000 odd people, or maybe 1,500 odd people who have worked in the last 20 years.
okay, now let me twist the question. Where did you get this recipe from? Okay.
I would 50% okay of that goes to the DNA. Uh, my mom faced a lot of challenges in her life. I'm a single parent child. The way she came up out of that, to a single parent, a lady, you're talking about 30 years back. Today it's a matter of pride being a single parent compared to what 30 years the environment was
I mean, no,
in a country like India.
I mean, for her, like it's okay. I'm ahead of the time. Don't worry. And that is how you've seen her in that aura, and you thought, okay, this is the right format to be.
I think 50% of that comes through there, and 50% could be by design and blessings of God. But I strongly believe 50% comes from there.
Yeah, I would say 100%. I mean, okay, we never know because we learn so many things from our parents, but we don't realize. And
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, unless someone asks you in front of the camera that where did you get this recipe from, that's when you start thinking, okay, maybe this, maybe that. But
Sure.
now I'm expecting all the answers with the element of risk taking. Okay, I mean, I will not accept any mediocre adventurous answer for this.
Sure.
So let's talk about the hobbies. I mean, what do you do? I mean, what do you want to do, or what do you do in your spare time on your weekends?
Uh, so specifically last 12 months, sitting at home, okay, I've actually become a YouTuber watcher, viewer rather than a YouTuber. So I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, irrespective of the content type. Okay, so it could be tech related, it could be non-tech related. I'm a foodie. I love food with presentation and not only taste. And it needs precision. Okay, so the sauce needs its shape. So as simple as that. Uh, and most importantly, okay, over a period of last few years, specifically working around the clock, spending a lot of time towards the work and business together. Uh, I think now I need to explore my travel hobby. So that is what I'm trying to do. And God knows, okay, maybe in future have my
I,
own travel entrepreneurial stint once again.
And I've heard that you had gone to Ladakh, okay, with your family. I mean, with your kids. And when it is not suggested, I mean, at the end of the March, I
Yes,
guess.
yes.
So, I mean, why do you have to get into such environment, or you think that if I'm getting into the territory, maybe I know what the risk is and I can just tame things down?
Uh, that's because okay, that year, in fact, in the month of January itself, I watched a video of Sadhguru saying that don't look at only the good things, look at natural things. And I think the natural beauty is okay when Ladakh is white and not brown. So that is what pushed me okay hard, convinced the family okay to take that risk.
And what do I mean? What is when it comes to your kids? What do they say? If Papa, I mean, I know you're a risk taker, but
I
they
I don't
agree.
see them. I don't see them as similar as my thinking or my approaches towards things. They are more sorted compared to from at least from a risk taking perspective. Uh, they are so I believe okay they think okay there's a standard way of living the life, and I think that is what they're trying to follow. Which I would not want them to. But I think let them realize that on their own rather than a parent forcing them.
See, as you rightly said, it's in your DNA. So eventually, one fine day, they will think that, oh no, this is not the right form, and they will come to you and say, okay, about something like that Ladakh trip, can we do something similar? And maybe
In fact, yes, because my son, okay, as he gets his driving license in next 1 year, those plans have already started. So, and we seriously want to go close to about. So, in fact, we're thinking intercontinental drive.
I mean, I can see that excitement on your face that he's getting a license. So you will have another partner who will drive, so you can, go miles.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
That's brilliant. So, one message that you want to give uh, to that 14-year-old Ashish, what that could be,
Uh,
because now you've seen it all, you've experienced everything. Now, maybe if you have an opportunity, if you see another Ashish Bajaj somewhere working in the diamond industry, what message you would want to give it to?
I think now it's tilted more towards smart working than hard working. I think that's the only message which I would give. I would have done a bit of more of hard working than to smart working. But irrespective of okay whether it's studies, whether it's I would say education, okay, or your personal life, hobbies, relationship, okay, I think everywhere I think it's more towards less towards consistency and more towards smartness is what is going to help to shape up the person.
And precision learning and risk taking. I mean, you don't.
That would naturally happen okay, specifically when you start early, okay, and you're there in an industry okay where like for example okay I used to polish a diamond okay which cannot be looked from a naked eye. So you need to be precise, right, because you're talking about 64 sides of something which you can't see from a naked eye,
Right.
but still you have to see it.
So one innovation that excites you now, one innovation that you've seen in last decade that excites you so much that you feel, oh, this is something that I would want to build one day.
I think the pace at which the innovation is happening in the mobility space, specifically drone getting accepted all across, whether it's military, transportation, okay, or delivery, and even surveillance, farming. I think that is something which I'm quite optimistic about. Will change the way we live our life. Uh, the travel is not going to be the way we have been brought up. It's going to be a very very different industry.
Right. I mean, there are so many things, in my mind right now. Whether should I ask you one set of questions which talks about efficiency, which talks about, the right set of culture. Another one is pushing me that to ask you, no. So, what is the next risk-taking adventure that you're going to do? So, anything in your mind, because I'm quite curious about the part where, you would take risk, you would get some innovation that, one fine day we proudly say in our country that, he's from our country and this is what he has got for us.
One thing which is going in my mind, okay, and that is what okay which is there in front all of us, okay, is we have a lot of information and less of knowledge today. Okay, irrespective whether you call that as a fake news, fake information, or even lot of, like for example today if a analyst in a stock market wants to just read about one simple company, okay, which is just born. You take Oyo, okay, you don't have a legacy of a family legacy, okay, of 30, 40, 50, 100 years, okay. It's a newborn industry, you know, okay, it's born in front of you. Still to analyze that, to invest or not to invest today, okay, I'm pretty sure he would have at least 1,000 pages to read every day. If I can seriously work on a technology, okay, which can reduce this 1,000 pages to a para, which is more knowledgeable, I think that is what would excite me, okay, with regards to my next risk. Though I'm working on a subject as such, not decided in terms of an entrepreneurial stint, by the way, but that is something which, if we seriously could convert a petabytes of information to MBs of knowledge through the use of right tech, tools, processes, education, I think that is something, okay, which would be a game changer for next generation.
I mean, if you can concise the overall curriculum in a very shorter format, all the students are going to love you. I mean, they will say that you're saving your time so they can play more. If they can play more, they will understand the the adventure side of everything, and eventually they will be okay to take risks, because risk will not be, because they will not fear risk, and maybe that is something that you would want to bring in. So yeah, quite interesting. Last thoughts when before we wrap up. I mean, there are so many entrepreneurs nowadays that we see so many companies, so many startups, so many success stories that we hear about. But I was just going through some research paper, and it shows that 98% of the startups in India, they fail. So let's not talk about the 2%, but let's talk about the 98% ones. What you would advise them, what they can avoid and what they can harness? Because definitely this is going to help our viewers, because there are so many people, they watch these interviews the way you were browsing YouTube in last 10 months. There are so many people, they browse, they listen to people, and they get inspired. We do not even know. But yeah, for those 98% of the people, and I have seen, I have read very sad stories where they didn't get funding, they had to invest their own money, the loan they couldn't repay, they had to sell their houses. So just we don't want this in our country. So your thoughts on that?
Two things. I think passion should be disconnected from the realistic environment around us. I don't say you should not be passionate. I think the reason for failure is we don't realize it early, okay, either to change the direction or to shut down. Okay, and when I say shut down, doesn't mean, okay, that you shut down your current business, okay, and then you go back to job, okay, or you don't do anything. You can always start something else. And there are numerous such instances. If you see even the success, the 2%, they did not start to do, okay, what they were doing on day one. Okay, and today they do something else. So I think the realization, unfortunately, gets shadowed under the emotion and passion, and that's where okay, things go wrong.
That's a good point. I mean, we always, our emotions, no matter what we do, our emotions, they overpower our decision making ability, and eventually we end up taking the emotional decisions, no matter what. But if someone can find a balance and to find the difference between this part, then yeah, they can fail into one business, they can fail another one, but they can take another risk, and they stop fearing the risk.
Absolutely.
Right?